regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about.
Yes, indeed. So much of things we need to see about here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I want to welcome you to the hub. Again, we have a unique opportunity in time to talk using radio and social media to connect. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. And I know tonight we are competing with Intercall. And there are a great many people who are tuned in to the Intercall games. All right? Because your former school or school might be competing. So I'm quite cognizant of that fact. But nevertheless, I want to encourage you to still share the live. Sharing is caring. They started pretty late today because of the inclement weather. Plenty rain fell today. So the Intercall started a bit late. But I know they would go kind of late into the night to make up for what they lost, the time they lost earlier today. But I want to start off tonight by playing a little piece from our beloved Prime Minister. He went at the Grace Lutheran School. They had the Carry Day at that school, and he interacted with the kids at the school.
I just wanted you to talk to them about careers.
Okay, so doctor. We got a boat captain. We got a policeman. Athlete. Oh, very good one. Many nurses, right? It's important when you think about careers to think about the things you can enjoy doing, even when you're in school, right?
What's your job?
We manage four ministers who all have responsibilities for different things. So there are ministers who are responsible for education, for health, for police, for staff, for the roads that we drive on, for tourism. Our job is to try and make sure that we make decisions that makes the life of the citizens of the country a lot better. So when I became the Prime Minister, one of the students there wrote me a letter, and I actually met her for the first time as I was coming in today. And she said to me she would like for Grenada to have more play parks for students to play. So I told her we are trying our best to build and make more parks, and we started building play areas in some of the fields throughout Grenada. So for example, in St. David, we put one in Last Year, we put one in Balmont, and the Minister of Youth and Sport is going to put parks all over the country so that students have, young children have places to play when they leave school. So that's just one of the things that we do. And as students, you too can write and let the government know what are the things you'd like to see happening in the country. All is well? Your technician? Oh, very good. I like your hat. Now
And you see, that's a different feel, a different touch, a different vibes, a different style of governance. I can tell you, as we speak now, our beloved Prime Minister, he is higher up in my area, he's in Mardi Gras, but the St. David side of Mardi Gras, they're walking as we speak. It's 10 past 8, and he's in the area, boots on the ground, going house to house, listening to people, speaking to people, interacting with them within the constituency. It's just different. He doesn't have to wait until election time. Just as the other members of parliament, they don't have to wait until election is close to go around or to do things within the constituency. It's just totally, totally different. That is the type of governance that the country needed. All right? So the farmers in Dumfries, they're happy, but let us first look at this piece.
After about 5 years of being non-functional, the Farm Machinery Department within the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources and Cooperatives has been recommissioned with new equipment and new standard operating procedures as part of efforts to improve support provided to farmers. The support to farmers is geared at enabling them to improve production, efficiency and long-term food security. Head of the unit, Atlee Hosten, emphasized the significance of modernizing agricultural practices to ensure efficiency, sustainability, and the ability to meet growing food demands.
With this recommissioning, we ensure that our farmers have access to reliable and efficient machinery, enabling them to meet the growing demand of food production. This is not just about restoring equipment. This is about strengthening our agricultural foundation for future generations.
The commissioning event marks a critical turning point for the nation's agricultural sector, with further initiatives planned to support and empower farmers. As the country moves forward, the Ministry of Agriculture remains committed to ensuring the success and growth of the agricultural community, helping to feed the nation and stimulate economic growth, according to Minister for Agriculture and Lands, Forestry and Marine Resources, Honorable Lennox Andrews.
We have on display 2 large wheel tractors. You know what they are? 2 small wheel tractors. 1 backhoe loader, 2 small trailers, 1 rotary cutter, 2 rotary tillers, 2 furrowers, 2 subsoiler, 3 disc plow, 30 power tillers, 1 crane truck, 10 chainsaws, 10 shredders, 10 weed eaters, spare parts, and everything else. We are starting and we are recommissioning this unit with all of these equipment for our farmers.
Farmers' representative in the Senate, Roderick Sinclair, welcomed the recommissioning.
Let us use the service to the maximum. Let us able PSR at the same time, whoever farms that are plowed, we know what crops they are growing, so that we could be able to monitor and see what the outputs from that is.
Farmers are expected to now receive efficient and timely service. Interested farmers are expected to request the service through their Extension District offices. The area will then be assessed by an Extension officer and a team member from the Farm Machinery Unit. Once the assessment is approved, the farmer will be informed of the cost of the service and proceed to pay for the relevant fee at the Inland Revenue Department. Once the proof of payment is produced, the department will then notify the farmer of their scheduled date for the service. The government has also ensured that these services are offered at a fair and reasonable price, with a new cost structure in place to cover rising expenses.
Yes, I love that, Troy Gill, MTV. Thank you very much for that piece there. That's a really good piece. Agriculture is on the up, so the farmers, they have access to all the machinery, the equipment. They will just pay a very small cost, just like in Carriacou, when they have to plow, when they have to do certain work, just pay a small cost and they would get the equipment to do the work. I love that. I love that. So the farmer doesn't have to hurt his or her head to buy a piece of equipment or some machinery, but have access to it by paying a reduced cost. You know, NDC does things differently. NDC believes in agriculture. NDC believes in education. In fact, today they turned the sod for the start of the new school in Grenville, the Anglican school in Grenville. I was looking for a video footage of that, but I didn't manage to get one. But I saw photos, plenty photos of it. But I was looking for video footage. So maybe some news outfit will do something, and I will be able to get it and show it to you. But it turned the sod there for the start of that school, and I think I have somewhere about the place. You know, I think it's the I think it's called the Anglican, the Grenville Anglican School. I think it was gutted by fire. It was destroyed by fire. Anglican. Let me see what this looks like here. And so fire destroyed it, and they're building a new one. They're building a new one for, you know, St. Andrew getting its fair share. You have the police station. You have the let me see here. Yeah, just looking at this. All right.
In a historic development, a contract signing ceremony was held on Wednesday at the Ministry of Education for the construction of the new St. Andrew's Anglican Primary School. An over $26 million project was signed with local contractor Creative Design and Building Construction Design Company. The project will be funded by the Caribbean Development Bank through Phase 2 of the Grenada Educational Enhancement Project. During the event, Minister for Education, Honorable David Andrew, acknowledged the challenges faced by the school over the last 2 years and emphasized the importance of delivering a modern, state-of-the-art facility that will serve future generations of students.
This structure is going to be modern. It's going to be 21st century. We are keen that any structure we preside over, the construction of which we preside over at this time and in this period, will be climate compliant, will be climate smart, will be modern. So the lifts you would have, the smart classrooms you will have, the indoor arena as well, a very key and unique feature that you would find to facilitate engagement of students. All of these are elements that I am delighted to have included in the design and in the structure for the new school.
A sword-turning ceremony is scheduled in the coming months at the school's original location in Grenville. Project engineer Tiffany Donald provided a brief overview of the scope of the project and the amenities that will be provided.
It has a modern L-shaped design with a total of 2 floors. The ground floor will house 7 adaptable classrooms for kindergarten and 4 classrooms for primary level, as well as the facilities for admin, tuck shop, and kitchen. The first floor will also have a classrooms for...
During a recent end-of-year review with the Ministry of Education, Education Minister Senator David Andrew announced that construction of the long-awaited St. Andrew's Anglican Primary School new educational facility is set to commence during the first quarter of 2025. The school has faced significant hurdles, beginning with its temporary relocation to Progress Park, St. Andrew, following which the temporary structure was gutted by a major fire, resulting in the displacement of over 400 students. The school is now nestled at another temporary location at the Telescope Resource Center in St. Andrew. According to Minister Andrew, a sod turning ceremony will be held during the Hillary school term, which begins in January, at the original site in the town of Grenville.
Finally, we have a no objection from the CDB for the construction of the St. Andrew's Anglican Primary School. We are soon to have, probably with all this happening now, we probably wouldn't have it, but very early in the new term, we'll have the signing and the sod turning to commence construction.
Right. So, excuse me. So the signing happened already, and today the sod turning ceremony took place. All right. So the school, the construction phase will start very soon. All right. I'm certain they're already doing mobilization to make sure that, the area is ready. So again, kudos, thumbs up. So the NDC, they continue to prioritize agriculture, education, healthcare. I played for you the 2 ambulances that they got, right? Only recently. 2 ambulance, where is it? I'm not seeing it here. Anyways, they were able to get 2 ambulances there, which is really good. For the hospital. I think I played it last night. I think I played last night. All right. So that's really good. So things are looking up. The farmers in Carriacou, they are not excluded. I realize 11 farmers, they are benefiting from some much needed water tanks and water in Dumfries.
This project is very timely, and it will do us great good. For in this area, farming is very restricted because of the water situation.
Each farmer will be receiving 2 black tanks. But to add to that, there will be a catchment area that will be built with 2 water bladders containing 10,000 gallons each. So that will be 20,000 gallons. And of course, beneath the catchment, there would be other tanks set up, giving us the extra capacity of about 20,000 plus gallons of water. So that should be a significant dent in the amount of water the farmers would have available to them. The system would not only be set up, but there will be an irrigation aspect of it in which pipes will be run to the individual farms, and the farmers can tap in to that water source and have water for their plants, especially during the dry season.
Initially, we looked at trying to assist the farmers with improving their water situation here. The first step was looking at the catchment area at the top of the hill. A study was done by FAO. That catchment area, the capacity is around 8 to 10,000 gallons, but the catchment was a bit damaged. The study showed that it was a bit expensive to rehabilitate that catchment. So we looked at an alternative method, and that is where the idea of using the water bladders came in. So there would be 2 water bladders. There is a rainwater harvesting catchment. It would be a roof that is 60 feet long by 30 feet wide. And from there, when the rain falls onto that roof, it goes through the gutters and to the 2 water bladders. The water bladders are supposed to be 10,000 gallons each, so that would give a total of 20,000 gallons. The water would then be channeled to the farming area down in Dumfries.
It's a very timely project. I would like to thank the Ministry of Agriculture and the FAO for initiating such a project in Carriacou. We always have water problems in Carriacou, and the farmers are the ones that suffer. If you look around, you will see a lot of trucks toting water to and fro to farms, to the hospital, wherever. I believe that farming and farmers in Carriacou have the potential to produce not just for the local market, but for export as well.
Between you would have to develop a kind of management system to use that water, because you don't want one farmer pulling all the water during the night or during the day and the other 11 not getting sufficient water. So there has to be some form of understanding among you, right? Because it's 20,000 gallons of water, but it's not infinite. And 20,000 gallons of water can run out very quickly. So I want you all to start thinking about that, how you can work among yourselves and with the Department of Agriculture to manage that water.
Yes, so big things are happening for the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique, thanks to the Honorable Tevin Andrews and his team. I can tell you there is this social media back and forth right now going on with a project that the Honorable Tevin Andrews and his team is about to commence, right? About to start. And it's amazing because sometimes you wonder. So the NDC administration, they're going to build I think it's a tennis court, and let me get the right thing. All right, let me get the right thing for you. It's a tennis court and a resource center. Right, I think it's right. So it's a cultural center. So the NDC is about to build or construct, or the NDC administration, a brand new cultural center and a tennis court. And that is for the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique, but it will be located in Carriacou. And they've started the process yesterday. Boy, them NNP, well, you know the usual suspect. He's saying, well, that was in the pipeline, and this was in the pipeline. But I love the response from this person from Carriacou. Did the project started in thin air? Go back and check the date of conceptualization and all the work done long before now. Now it is materialized, all you upfront and present, and left out the mastermind of the project, and not even one implement. I don't know, he got, but God ain't sleeping. Let all your conscience be all your guide. Many videos and pictures are there and all you won't see, whatever it is. But anyways, I'm simply saying that this project is a very good project for the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique. And I think we need to move away from the pettiness. Whenever there is a project that the NDC administration initiates or implements, you would always have the NNP saying, well, it's a project that was in the pipeline, or it's a project that we thought of, or it's a project that we wanted to do, that kind of thing. And it scares me because this is Grenada. This is not NNP Grenada or NDC Grenada. This is Grenada. This is our home, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And government is a continuum. Government must continue. So a party wins, they form the government. Will they be so stupid to abandon all the good projects, all the good initiatives, and start afresh with everything else? Come on. And there are projects that the government will start afresh. So it's a good thing when you have projects like these coming to places like Carriacou and PT Martinique or parts of Grenada, the rural parts and so on. This is good. Tennis court, right? And a cultural center. This is good. In fact, Carriacou is the home of culture. So the NNP been there 23 years ago. They should have constructed a lot of things in Karaku within that 23 years. They never did. Right? Yes, you can point to one or two things that they accomplished, but nothing wrong with that. But they should have accomplished far more because they were there for so long and they were in charge of Karaku and PT Martin, even in opposition. Even in opposition. The only time NDC won Karaku, I think Joan Postle, I don't know what party she ran for, right? Stand to be corrected. I don't know if it's the NDC, the first NDC. I don't know. Stand to be corrected. But you had Elvin Nimrod. He won that constituency, I think, about 3 times. All right. So it might be even 4. So they've been in charge of Karaku for a long time. I am saying, they should have completed. They should have done more in Karaku than how Karaku was when NDC took over. They had ample time to do that. All right? So you had that opportunity and you did not take. Right. So someone is saying since from 1999. And then when he passed away, you had Kindra Matthew Stewart. She won Karaku once. All right. And then Honorable Tevin Andrews. Because I think George Prime ran and he lost by about 6 or so votes. So, Karaku was on the NNP for a good period. A good period. Could be about 20 years. NNP controlled Karaku. And nothing much happened in Karaku. Nothing much happened there. So someone is saying from 1999 all the way up to 2022, Karaku was under NNP's control. So that's a good, 21 years. That's a long time. They control Karaku. But nothing significant happened there. So things are happening now, and you just need to be happy for the people of Karaku and PT Martinique. As I would say, don't beat up. It's our people, it's our country, Grenada, Karaku, and PT Martinique. And if good things are happening, yes, you may have conceptualized or maybe you thought about something like that. Nothing wrong with that. Or maybe you had something in the pipeline. There's a lot of people who have something in the pipeline and the pipe just can't open. So under the NNP, the pipe was not opening. It was not opening. So now it's opening and things are happening for the people of Karaku. And someone is saying to me, the last 23 years. Someone is saying to me for the entire period of NNP, with Keith Mitchell being Prime Minister, NNP was in charge of Karaku and PT Martinique. And even when NNP lost the election in 2008 to 2013, NNP won Karaku. They still won Karaku. It's just like St. Andrew North East, I think, where Kate Lewis is MP. NNP been in charge of that constituency for almost the same amount of time like Karaku. Because you had Archibald, I think in 1999, or no, you had, I think it's Archibald, man. Archibald, you had Waldron on the other side. Archibald. So from Archibald come all the way up, then you have Roland Bowler. Roland Bowler stayed there for a while. I think it's 3 terms. Right? And then you had Kate. I think she's on her second term now. Second. So anyhow you look at it, NNP controlled that constituency and not much happened in that constituency too under the NNP. Not much happened there. That's the constituency where Kate Lewis is the MP. Not much happened there in terms of development, in terms of transformation and so on in that particular constituency. Same thing in Carriacou. Same thing in Keith Mitchell's constituency. Keith Mitchell's constituency, I mean, he been in the MP there for 40 years, going on 41, but nothing much happened there in that constituency. You look at the Tongue of St. George, Peter David, for example, he been the MP. Well, firstly, let's look at Peter David / NNP. They've been in charge of the Tongue of St. George for what? Since 2003. Since 2003. All the way up. All right? So, I'm telling you, and nothing much has happened in the Tongue of St. George. The sidewalks remain the same. The signage, there is not much signage to tell you what streets you're on. The drains are in terrible condition still. Don't even talk about the Carenage, one of the most beautiful places you could ever visit in the whole of the Caribbean, but nothing much happened there. It's just run down. A lot of old buildings left, right, and center. Nothing much in that particular area, the Tongue of St. George. You look at Tongue and you wonder. You wonder what's going down. Nothing grand has happened there for the people of that constituency. You look at River Road. You look at Dabo. Nothing much. Nothing much in those areas. But Peter / NNP was in charge of that constituency. You know, the Honorable Claudette Joseph, she's trying her best to bring development and to bring assistance to the people of that constituency. But still, Peter go through a little picong because he's the MP, the Member of Parliament elected for that area. So she's a senator appointed. She's a caretaker for that constituency. So you have to understand what's going down in that constituency. So if you look at those constituencies that the NNP, look at St. Mark. Well, since the Christopher Columbus, St. Mark was controlled by NNP. Yeah. You had Jewsbury. Then you had Clarice Modeste. Clarice Modeste been there what? How many? Oh boy. How many years? 20-something? It's a long, long time. And I think even before that, it was controlled by, I'm saying that if you look at St. Mark, not much has happened in that constituency. Not much has happened in that constituency. So wherever the NNP MPs control for a long time, the constituencies have not progressed. The constituencies have not developed in any big way. You're not seeing the playing fields lit. You're not seeing bathroom and toilet facilities for people with pit latrines and so on being erected as fast as, Over the years, they have not done anything significant there. You're not seeing netball courts and basketball courts, properly done and developed. The community centers and so on. You're not seeing that kind of, thing happening. You're not seeing the development. So, for example, in St. Mark, the failed shrimp farm, millions of dollars vanish. The failed chicken farm, millions of dollars vanish. Nothing much happening in that area. And mind you, very fertile area, In the days of old, a lot of plantation, a lot of agriculture, a lot of things were taking place up there. But nothing much is happening there now. But the Honorable Quince Britain, he's trying his best in that constituency. But just look at these constituencies and you're going to realize what's going down. They've had MPs, NNP, running the show and controlling there for a long time. So I looked at Keith Mitchell's constituency, Kate Lewis' constituency there. Carriacou under the NNP. St. Mark, Clarice Modeste, Emlyn Pair. Nothing much again in Emlyn Pair's constituency. Look at David Andrew. He has to come now and fix the roads in Telescope, fix a number of things in that constituency and do work there. He was not elected. Emlyn Pair was elected, but she been the MP for that constituency for a long, long, long time. She lost to Patrick Simmons, but she was there from 2000 and something, 2003. I think it was 2003. 2003, then 2008, right? She lost in 2008. And then she came back in 2013. She came back in 2018. So she won that constituency for about 3 terms. 3 terms, and maybe she's going on her 4th term now. I stand to be corrected, but she won that constituency for a couple of times. And I think she served before as a senator. I think so. I stand to be corrected, but I think so. All right? I think she served as that. But it's clear. If you look at her constituency, not much happening in that area. Nothing much. I'm talking about when they were in governmental. They were in government, running the show for all these years. Nothing significant happened in those constituencies. But the NDC is trying to bring development and to bring opportunities for the people in those constituencies. The MTV did a good piece on the African or Nigerian lady.
Chairperson of Grenada's Investment Migration Agency, Richard Duncan, has spoken out in defense of the agency after reports surfaced that Nigerian billionaire businesswoman Aisha Ashimungu, a participant in the Citizenship by Investment CBI program for over 4 years, is wanted by Nigeria's Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on charges of criminal conspiracy and money laundering. The controversy deepened following additional reports that Ashimungu, who serves as CEO of OceanGate Oil and Gas Engineering, recently entered into an agreement with Global Petroleum Group, the only company currently licensed to explore Grenada's oil and gas reserves. Duncan emphasized that all applicants to the investment migration program undergo a thorough and rigorous due diligence process. According to Duncan, at the time of Achimungu's application, there were no records of criminal activity or allegations that would have disqualified her from participating.
1. She did not provide false information on her application. 2. She was never convicted of any crime that resulted in a more than 6-month period of incarceration. 3. She was not, at the time of assessment, the subject of any criminal investigation. 4, she was not considered to be a potential security risk to Grenada or any other country. 5, she was not involved in any activity likely to cause disrepute to Grenada. And 6, she has never been denied a visa in a visa-free country with which Grenada has such a treaty.
He added that the agency has no control over an individual's behavior after they have been approved, but assured that if new evidence emerges indicating criminal behavior at the time of processing, there could be legal consequences.
Now, the CBI committee, the CBI unit, the Investment Migration Agency, are not in the business of futuristic behavior, astrology, trying to determine what people do in the future. We have no such mandate nor skill. So people who are citizens of Grenada who do things subsequently becoming a citizen is not on the agency or the committee or the cabinet then or now. So the point is, duly approved. However, I would make this caveat. If somebody who has been approved, it is discovered that information at the time of approval was available then, which would have or should have resulted in a denial, was not discovered or overlooked, then that is an indictment. This is not the case here.
Duncan also addressed speculation about Ashimungu's whereabouts, clarifying that she is not evading authorities. He revealed that she is currently preparing to appear before the EFCC to defend herself, following discussions with her legal team. He further noted that there is no indication her Grenadian passport, acquired through the program, is being misused. For MTV News, Troy.
Yes, so that's a good piece by Troy Gill there. And by now, you know, she got her citizenship under the NNP. All right, so by now, you know that in 2021, she got her citizenship under the NNP. There's another individual in Myanmar whose citizenship was revoked. He got his citizenship. I think they accuse him of being an arms dealer. He got his citizenship under the NNP administration too, not under the NDC, but that was revoked. But again, just saying. And while the NNP zygotes and pundits trying to attack the CBI program because they want bad things to happen to it, so that the revenues would not come to develop Grenada and to build things in Grenada and help people in Grenada, 300 plus American citizens have purchased or invested, not purchased, invested in the CBI program, thereby getting a citizenship and a passport for Grenada. So you have over 300 Americans who have invested in Grenada, all right, and have received their citizenship and their passport. So they have an American passport, but they also have a Grenadian passport and a Grenadian citizenship. So while the NNP pundits and so on trying to attack the program is very attractive to Americans, to Canadians, to people all around the world. All right? Which is good for Grenada. Very, very good for Grenada. Because remember, it is a competitive thing. Nearly all countries around the world have a citizenship by investment program. So Grenada is not left out. And it's a good thing. Very, very good thing. Because the budget and the NNP, they know that the 2025 budget is relying heavily on the successes from the citizenship by investment program. So they know that. That is why a particular reporter who is associated with the NNP, zygotes, constantly writes or publish stuff about the citizenship by investment program in a negative light. All that she does is to paint a bad picture of the citizenship by investment program. But what we saw recently with this Nigerian woman, she did not do, the journalist or the reporter did not do a thorough investigation, or else she would not have published anything that would point back to the NNP. Because we later discovered that this Ashimugu, this Nigerian woman, got her citizenship under the NNP administration, under the Keith Mitchell-led administration. So while they make their supporters believe that it was under the NDC, it was not under the NDC. And that is why I laughed this morning when Panames called the Political Cause program and giving people the impression that this thing happened under the NDC, or the NDC granted this woman anything. It occurred under the NNP. So it kind of, bongs back straight in their face. Because you see, the NNP been running that same thing, CBI, for a long time. They have not realized the kind of resources and so on that the NDC is realizing out of it. So they vex. And they also know that the bridges, the roads, the schools, community centers, playing fields, the bathroom and toilets for people with pit latrines and so on, scholarships for young people, investment in agriculture, investment in healthcare, investment in youth and sports and so on, it will come from the CBI program, the Citizenship by Investment program. All right, so they know that. Don't think they know. The NNP knows that. So they're attacking this program because they want the program to fail. They want bad things to happen to the program in Europe. They want the European Union to do X, Y, and Z. They want the American to do X, Y, and Z. They want the Canadians to do this. That's what they want. Because they want bad things to befall the program. But they have not been getting their wishes. That is why when the US slap restriction, visa restrictions, and all different things on countries, and they didn't see Grenada name on it, they get upset. Those NNP goons, zygotes, sycophants, and pundits, they got upset. Because what they want is bad things to befall Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. That is what they want. Because they believe if bad things happen, then they stand a chance to roll back into power, to waltz their way back into power. And it's not happening. It is not happening. And as a result, it is becoming a serious, serious problem for them. They can't stand the fact that the NDC has been very, very successful to date. So any little thing they get to condemn and criticize, they will. Any little thing. In fact, right now, because a statutory board did not publish the names of the directors of that board, they're saying, well, the government broke the law and the government is not operating the way they're looking for anything and everything, every and anything to make it an issue. And not once would they highlight the good things that are happening in agriculture. Not once would they highlight the good things that are happening in education. Not once would they highlight the good things that are happening in healthcare. Not once would they highlight the good things that are happening in sports and youth and sports. Not once would they highlight the good things that are happening in tourism, in infrastructure, in human resource development. Not once. They would not highlight the good things happening in Carriacou and PT Martinique. Not once. All they do is to be negative. That is all they're about. And Grenadians are noticing that. Grenadians home and Grenadians abroad. They are noticing how negative the NNP has become. And look, we are in 2025. All Grenadian people want good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. They want betterment for our people. They want a better standard of living, better living standard and condition and everything like that. And they see that the government is working hard to bring that to the people. All right? And as a result, they're supportive of that. They want to see good things. Look, but who in their right mind wouldn't want to see good things happen for your community, for your family, for your country? I mean, those NNP supporters, they have become very unpatriotic. They're so bitter because they never thought that they would get licks or beaten at the polls. They never thought they would lose the election. They still have not recovered from that yet, from the licks, from the blows. In other words, you in a relationship and every little thing is a quarrel. Every little thing is condemned. Every little thing is criticized. Every little thing is, But when you knowingly do good things, no one observes that. No one sees that. That is exactly what is happening, When you do good things, they're not noticing it. But the wares in the sink, quarrel. Something. Quarrel. That kind of thing. It's after a while you get fed up with that. And people are getting fed up with the NNP. With that, everything for them is negativity. That's all they do. And it sickens people to the core. Because you meet people on a daily basis and they tell you they just want to hear something good about Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique since the 50th celebrations of independence. Well, let's go back since the election to now. People just want good things to happen to Grenada. They're done with this negativity and this kind of, gutter style politics. That's the Keith Mitchell era. Keith Mitchell style of politics was that kind of politics. Gutter sniper. Always, go down to the lowest. You always have this kind of confrontation, bacchanal, with every sector of the society under the NNP administration. We have gone past that. But the NNP is still stuck there. They're stuck there. You listen to their programs and you wonder why they're so negative. Why? Why everything for them is to condemn and to criticize? And you're against this, and you're against that, and you're against this, and you're... Why? One wonders. You see the point? And people are now observing these things. They're observing it and they're saying, but come on, man. That's just not the right way to go. Let's do it differently. Let us focus more on the positive things. Let us try to build this place. Let us try to transform this place. I would love for this beautiful place of ours to be transformed. I want good for Grenada, And I know many people out there want good for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. But you have the opposition, because you could be opposition, and not be the way the NNP is operating. You could be constructive. You could be positive. You could be responsible as an opposition party. You could be that. Look at Peter David, for example. I mean, he's nowhere, but he's trying to remain positive, to talk about the good things that are happening, and to bring forward suggestions and recommendations and so on. But that was not Peter of old. Peter David of old with NNP was the same thing, like Emlyn and all of them. Negative. But he realized that the NDC is performing well, and it would be in his best interest to play that way, to remain positive and to talk about the good things and to highlight it and, remove all the tribal politics. But, I mean, he wouldn't get anywhere politically. But if the NDC do something good, you should be quick to come out and say, it's good. It's a good initiative. It's a good thing the government did. Right? You applaud it. You commend it. And if you think that they could do something differently, you suggest that. But every time you get a mic, just negative. Nah, man. After a while, people get fed up with that. That is exactly what is happening to the NNP. People are getting fed up with them every single day. Every single. Hello?
Hello, good evening, Ken.
Hi.
Is this Ken?
Yes.
Yes. My name is Maureen Williams. I'm calling from Paradise. Some time ago, I heard, listening to your program, you gave a number of some persons who were doing cleaning. So when you said anybody want the place clean, you can contact them. I would like to get a number
Well,
from you.
I am on my program live now, and your voice is live over the air.
Oh my God.
Nothing wrong with that. So I would give you so you could call me after the program, all right? Okay. And I'll give you the number. Okay, nice. Yeah, no worry. You have a nice voice and your tone is good, and you seem to be a very nice person. All right, so don't worry about that. The people, they love your voice. Yeah, so I am saying Grenadians are listening. Grenadians are following what's going down. And we are in the age of visual aid, video, evidence. It's not just a picture anymore. Somebody could easily doctor a picture and send it all around the place. But it's very hard to doctor a video itself, because you would know it's AI, or you would know that it's something that they join. You're going to kind of recognize it. So with the video and the facts that you put on the table, it's just difficult for the NNP to survive in this technological age. NNP is black and white TV. NNP is the blue soap phone. or the BlackBerry phone. NNP's paper. They're paper tigers still. People reading with Kindle and their smartphone and the tablet and the laptop and so on. But NNP is still in paper. They deal with paper still. They have not modernized. They have not been transformed. They're still stuck. Anyways, folks, I want to thank you very much for being a part of the program. I want to wish you all the best. I will be back with you tomorrow morning, God's willing, starting from 8 in the a.m. Boy, you talk about the dry season. As a farmer said today, she thinks it's climate change because it's what it is. Rain, 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 and more rain. You'll get a little sun, but rain, sun, rain, sun, rain. I mean, some people are very, very happy for it, but some people never planned for it. Some people never thought it would happen. So some farmers, they got caught with their pants down. But again, a lot of irrigation system and so on around. Things are happening. There's a glut of nearly all the things on the market. Plenty tomatoes, plenty cucumbers, plenty lettuce, plenty cabbages, plenty okra, plenty beans, plenty pork choy, plenty pumpkin, plenty everything. Prices are pretty low for some. Pretty low for some. All right, but plenty of everything.